If you like gear as much as I do, then this is the video for you, because today we're looking at 10 film things that you have to have for under 10 bucks. All right, people, let's get into it. I'm Garrett, this is Making Movies, and today we're looking at 10 film things for under 10 bucks. These are things that I literally use on every shoot, and something that will help improve your workflow on set. The first thing we're looking at today is this little guy. This is an air blower, not one of those snot suckers for babies. The purpose of an air blower is to actually blow any sort of dust or dirt or sand or any sort of schmutz that might have gotten onto our lens. And the best part about this is I don't have to touch the lens every time I want to clean it. Our cameras, regardless of the price point, are only as good as the lenses that we're using. So it's really important to take care of our lenses, because even if you're working with a really expensive camera, if you have a super beat up lens where there's scratches or dust or specks on it, that's gonna show up in your final footage. This is the first line of defense that I use. Anytime I do a lens change, I make sure to blow off the front and the back of the lens before connecting it to the camera to make sure that there's not any free floating dust or dirt. For me, this is an absolute must. This is a Zeiss lens cleaning wipe, and the purpose of this, much like the air blower, is to clean the optics of our lenses. These little things come in a box that looks like this. This is the bigger box, but you can get 80 of these, or these, not those, these, for just over $7. These should look familiar. They kind of look like those moist towelettes that you wash your hands with. I would only use these after I've already used the air blower. That way you're not going to wipe any sort of dirt or grain or sand into the lens. That said, the best practice with these is never wipe them back and forth, because if, God forbid, there is some sort of grain on there, for sure you're going to scratch the front of your lens. The best way to use these is to start from the center of your lens and slowly work your way out in a circular manner all the way out to the edges of your lens. Then use the air blower again, just in case this leaves any sort of fuzz on the lens, and then I know that my lens is perfectly clear, ready to go, and I can get the image that I'm looking for. This is a UV filter. This is a threaded filter that would screw right onto the front of your lens, but if you look at it, it looks like absolutely nothing. There's glass in there, but it doesn't actually have any sort of color or gradient or polarizer. The reason why you would use this UV lens is, of course, for one, to block out unwanted UV light rays coming into your lens when shooting outdoors. This also acts as a barrier between our lens and the outside world, and because there's nothing to this other than clear glass, it's not going to affect our image quality in any sort of noticeable way. This comes right under $10 at $9.99, but it's much easier to replace a $10 UV filter than if something kicks up and actually hurts the lens or scratches it or nicks it, because then the lens is either ruined or you have to send it in for repair, both of which cost significantly more than just spending the $9.99 and picking this little guy up. This is a USB power bank. Basically, it's a battery on the go for anything that plugs in via USB. It is 8,000 milliamp hours, so you're able to charge your cell phone twice. You can definitely charge camera batteries or several camera batteries. It also has 2 USB ports, which is great because that allows you to charge multiple things simultaneously. This has an entire metal body construction, so it's very durable. I feel comfortable taking this pretty much anywhere. And it comes with this lovely little pleather, fake leather sleeve that it fits directly inside of, nice and snug. It's smaller than my cell phone. I can pack it into anything. It comes with a standard USB charging cable, and all in, you're just over $9. While the portable charger is great for when you aren't able to plug things into the wall, oftentimes where we're shooting, we do have access to outlets. Probably not as many as we'd like, but we do have access to power. And in that case, I would recommend something like this. This is obviously a power strip, but a couple of things that are really cool about this, P.S. this is for American plugs. I'm sure that there are international plugs for wherever you are. It's grounded, so it's gonna give you that extra layer of protection so you don't fry your batteries or your cameras or whatnot. You have 4 plugs here, but the really cool thing about this one and why I like this so much is that it has 2 USB ports down here. They're both 2.4 amps, so you're able to charge larger devices. So if you needed to plug in an iPad or something bigger like that, you could do that as well. And a lot of cameras and a lot of power charging tech today, it comes with USB brick style charging. So while you have things that run only AC power, this gives you the option to plug in 2 USB style power charging. Long-winded, but you get what I'm saying. This thing's awesome. This is a small LED flashlight. It is a single diode LED light. What's really cool about this light is that it is a focus beam light, which means that when I turn it on, it gives me a really wide radius, but I can actually focus that beam down so that way, depending on what I'm doing, I don't have to have this giant light all over the place. I can really focus it in to what I want to do. I can actually adjust the intensity. I just push this button again, and you can see that I can dim this light down. So depending on the environment that I'm in, I might not need all of that heat. I can dial it back and I can focus my beam to do exactly what I need it to do. You can actually pick up 2 of these guys for under $10. They're a little bit shorter than this. I wasn't able to find this exact model anymore, but the features are the exact same. That way I never lose anything and I can know where everything is all the time. One thing that you'll learn very quickly about me is that cable management is super important. Once you've learned to wind the cable up properly, which I promise we'll get into, we then need to know how to store that. This weird looking thing is called a BONGO tie. These are great for holding together any sort of large cable, whether it's an extension cord or a large surge protector, SDI cables, those kind of things. Anything that is a sizable cable. So when you wind a cable properly, there's no actual hold on the cable. This is where BONGO ties come in. All you have to do is loop the BONGO tie underneath the cable and loop the rubber band through each end. This then gives you a loop and hook that gives us the ability to hold our cable together. I don't have to do any sort of messing around with the cable to get it to hold itself together. These things are super cheap and a huge lifesaver. You can get a 10-pack of BONGO ties for $7, and I would put them on every large kind of cable that you have because I think that cables are important. For those of you that are thinking to yourself, that sounds great, but not all of my cables are huge and BONGO ties are going to be way too big. I've got you covered too. Enter the cable tie. This is a reusable tie. It's Velcro, so on one side it has the soft velvety side, and then on the other side it's got the hard kind of rigid part. But this is great for winding around tiny cables. And again, they come in a variety of sizes. This one is a 4-inch, this one here is an 8-inch, and then I've got these tiny little 2-inch dudes. These are a great way to keep your cables organized and prevent them to turn into like the earbud type cluster that comes out of your pocket every time you pull them out. That's what these are for. You can get 50 of these for $8, so I would put them on every single cable that you have. If you've been a filmmaker for any length of time, this will look familiar to you. This is a quick release plate. Not what we're talking about, but the reason why I bring this up is because at the bottom of every quick release plate is this 1/4-20 screw. This screw is what secures your camera onto your quick release plate, which then in turn, of course, secures it to your tripod. So it's really, really important to make sure that this is screwed in tightly onto the camera. A coin works pretty well for tightening things down, but if you don't have change on you, you then resort to using your keys. I've bent keys that way. So that's where this next tool comes in. This is a Craftsman flathead tool. This guy is just under $5. It fits right onto a keychain. I keep one of these on me all the time. And what's great is that it comes with various sizes: small, medium, large, and large. I generally stick with the largest setting, but what's great with this is that it fits into any sort of 1/4-20 screw that you would like, and it's wide enough that it gives you the leverage to really tighten things down, whereas with a coin or a key, you're at the will of the size of the coin that you're using, or God forbid, the key that you have on hand. This saves you from all of that hassle, and for under $5, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm not a fan of shooting cameras completely handheld. I think that generally there needs to be some sort of support system on them, whether it's a shoulder rig or a gimbal or a monopod, tripod, that kind of thing. So unless you're using a neck strap, the next line of defense would be something like this. This is a camera wrist strap. It's made out of paracord. It has a weight limit of 550 pounds, which I think is enough for most cameras. On each side of your camera where you would tie in your neck strap, there's some sort of brad or opening of some kind. That's where this guy loops in and through, and then that secures this to your camera. This is a completely adjustable wrist strap. I have mammoth wrists and this fits easily on mine, and what you'll see here is that then it can tighten down. The best part is that once you have it on the camera, you then have this bead here which keeps it nice and tight. If you are shooting handheld and you have it on your wrist like this and you accidentally drop the camera, this will actually prevent it from falling to its impending doom. There you have it, 10 things that I use on every shoot that are under 10 bucks a piece. If you use anything on your film sets that are under $10, comment them below. I'd love to see what other people are using that doesn't break the bank, but definitely helps them on production. If you found this helpful, go ahead and give this video a like. If you want to see more like this, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode.